Friday, October 3rd. It's going for 7 p.m. and I'm still working. My husband was heating up dinner. I thought I had taken a container of curried lentils out of the freezer and put it in the fridge so that we could start a pot of rice and then heat up the lentils and have an easy dinner, like slice some tomatoes and get out some toasted coconut and put it on top and call it good. And he just went to heat it up and he came in. He was like, so this is turkey gravy. And I don't think that we want turkey gravy on rice for dinner. So they are now scrambling to put together a stir fry or something. I don't know. It's my bad. It's because I didn't label the containers and I thought I knew what was where in the freezer. But I think I will take that turkey gravy and I will use it to make have some leftover chicken. I'll make chicken pot pie for dinner tomorrow. I have an event that I have to go to pretty much all day tomorrow, so I need a really easy dinner I can prep tonight, and then I guess I'll prep the pastry tomorrow morning first thing, and then my family can just put it in the oven. We're a pretty egalitarian family, right? My kids are 22, 20, 17, and 14, and then also my spouse, and we all kind of share the cooking and cleaning responsibilities. I don't want to say evenly, but pretty well right now, right? I prioritize my kids having time to put their schoolwork first, right? So I'm not going to ask them to like cook or do chores if it cuts into their ability to study and focus on their schoolwork. They're all in college or early college programs. One of my kids doesn't live here anymore. She's away at college. I should just clarify that. So there's only 5 of us in the house right now. So I'm still working because I'm trying to film videos ahead to go into the weekend since I'm not going to be available to film content most of the day tomorrow. I think tomorrow night I'll probably film for Sunday. And yes, I realize that working 7 days a week is not sustainable. I have been doing that nonstop since January. And I realize I need to figure out how to like get a 5-day-a-week schedule back. And I just haven't. There's too much going on and too much that's important. So speaking of which, the next several videos that I make on my main TikTok account and my backup, and I will repost them all to YouTube, even though TikTok said that they're really going to censor videos that talk about other platforms, it appears that I can kind of get away with naming other platforms, probably because my videos don't really get any traction on TikTok anyway. I don't have any reach since the TikTok shutdown and reboot. Basically, I went from getting 5, 6, 700,000 views on the regular to like a lot of my videos get 1,700, couple thousand. That's okay. And I also get a lot of community guidelines violations for just like absolute nothing. And I don't want to jeopardize my platform here. So I typically don't make shorter videos on TikTok just so that I don't risk losing my account over a 60-second video. So over the next several videos, I would really like to talk about several topics that were covered in the Indivisible What's the Plan call that happened earlier today. Now, Indivisible is a grassroots pro-democracy organization. They were really instrumental in helping resist a lot of the authoritarian things that Trump wanted to do during his first term. They helped save the Affordable Care Act. And Indivisible is a key component of the nonviolent resistance movement against the authoritarian regime of Donald Trump in 2025. I'm very proud to be a member of East Portland Indivisible, and I've been really active with that group, and I've just drawn so much encouragement from my neighbors who are also involved and really care and want to stand up. But even more than that, not necessarily even more than that, but additionally on top of that are these weekly Indivisible calls, which are hosted by Ezra and Leah, who are the founders of Indivisible, and anybody from Indivisible can come and join. And you hear about what Indivisible is planning, kind of a summary of where they are with organizing. And then members from different Indivisible chapters can ask questions in the chat, and Ezra and Leah will respond to them as best they can. There's typically 5, 6, 7, 8,000 people on a call. And I have found them highly informative and very, very encouraging because you are in a space with thousands of other people who care about saving democracy as much as you do and who ask really thoughtful questions, right? And Ezra and Leah, who both have a long career in politics, I think they were both congressional staffers, also likewise extremely thoughtful people who have really good takes. I find that the vast majority of the time, my opinion on an issue lies somewhere kind of right in between Ezra and Leah. I think that there are things that both of them say that are just absolutely spot on. Ezra can be a little bit more worked up. He's much more prone to dropping F-bombs like I am. And Leah has just such a compassionate, thoughtful perspective. They're both really wicked smart. And one of the things that they say all the time is that they're the founders, but they don't run Indivisible. Indivisible is run by the chapters, by the people, by the American people all over the country. And there are also chapters in other countries as well who are standing in solidarity with us, supporting the democracy movement here in the United States. And so I very much am appreciative of the fact that it is a truly grassroots group, right? The chapters vote on things. Ezra and Leah don't tell us what position to take. We vote on an issue, and then they say, okay, we've heard from the chapters that they would like us to demand that Chuck Schumer resign, or they would like us to support this particular issue, and then they do it. Likewise, they do not dictate from the national level down to individual, indivisible chapters in different congressional districts, right? They're not going to say, like, we don't like your congressman, so we want you to primary him. No, what they say is, hey, y'all who live in this district, what do you think about your congressman? How do you feel? Are you wanting to support him? Are you wanting to primary him? What's your vibe? And then they say, we'll support you in what you want to do. So I try to go to as many of the Thursday What's the Plan calls as I possibly can. And then I try and take each of the individual questions from the question and answer, or at least a handful of them, and kind of tell you what we talked about, and then provide my own analysis or extra context, additional resources, etc. So I want to do that over the next several videos. Those will publish over the weekend since I will be at this other event. And I want to tell you, I left that meeting today feeling really good. There are so many good people doing so many good things. This is such a difficult moment. This is such a scary moment to be an American. And I think it's really crucial that we continue to check the facts and connect with other people so that we can stay grounded and so that we can get perspective and understand that sometimes our feelings are not facts. Sometimes the propaganda of the regime can kind of work on us a little bit, and we've got to stay grounded. We've got to stay connected. We've got to keep speaking truth to ourselves and to other people in this movement. And I think those Thursday What's the Plan calls are really good at fulfilling that role. So let me leave you here with a couple of things from the intro of the meeting, and then I'm going to come back across the next several videos and talk about some really, really good topics, really important topics. So let me leave you with some encouragement from the beginning of the meeting. Throughout the month of September, Indivisible saw an uptick in the formation of new Indivisible groups. Now, pretty consistently since January, and definitely since February, Indivisible has seen 40, 50 new groups added every single month around the country. And Ezra calls that a wave, and he says we're waiting for it to crest. And I like to think of it as a groundswell, as everybody across the United States is becoming more and more aware. People are finding their courage, and they're getting fed up with what's happening, and they are deciding to do something about it. We're seeing more Indivisible groups pop up from all over the country. And you would think, well, at some point that's going to taper off, right? No, we're continuing to see this rise. We're continuing to see this building momentum, with September having a significant uptick in the number of new groups that were formed. And Ezra lists off a handful of the chapters just to give people an idea of where these groups are forming around the country. And he mentioned Coeur d'Alene Indivisible. Coeur d'Alene is a hotbed for white supremacy. If you look at the map of Trump approval, Idaho is like at the fucking top. In deep, deep white supremacist, LDS and Christo fascist MAGA land, you have a new Indivisible group forming. Yeah, it's one thing for me in Portland, Oregon to be like, fuck the fascists, let's go democracy. It's another thing entirely for somebody in a deeply red community, for somebody in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, to be like, we're forming an Indivisible group. We are choosing right now to stand up. And that reminded me of something that I heard another creator say a couple of days ago, which is that you only need 4 people to start community organizing. You only need 4 people to start a movement. You only need 4 people to start something big. Wherever you are, if it feels like you're somewhere where the MAGAs are running the show, where it feels like there are not a lot of people who are connected to reality and who understand the severity of the moment, please understand, if there's 4 of y'all and you can get together, you can build power, you can build solidarity, you can have those connections, really cement with each other, and you can start drawing other people in. You can build a movement, you can build your grassroots organizing with 4 people. So I want to leave you with this final thought, and please come back tomorrow because I have so many exciting things from this meeting that I want to share. No King's Day is coming up on October 18th, and so far there are more than 2,200 events scheduled. It is shaping up to be the largest day of protest in the history of the United States of America. This is that groundswell, so go to nokings.org and sign up.